Hi, I'm Eva Kucherenko and we're United24 Media with the latest news from Ukraine. Ukraine will receive an additional $2 billion in military financing. This was announced by the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken during the press conference in Kyiv today. When asked whether the US prohibits Ukraine from using its own weapons to strike Russia, Blinken responded that Washington does not encourage this, but Ukraine must decide for itself what to do.
Ukraine has to make decisions for itself about how it's going to conduct this war, a war it's conducting in defense of its freedom, of its sovereignty, of its territorial integrity. And we will continue to back Ukraine with the equipment that it needs to succeed, that it needs to win.
Yesterday, he came to Ukraine and already met with President Volodymyr Zelensky. Part of a major US aid package has already arrived in Ukraine, said Blinken.
We know this is a challenging time, but we also know that in the near term, the assistance is now on the way. Some of it's already arrived, more of it will be arriving, and that's going to make a real difference against the ongoing Russian aggression on the battlefield. And we're determined, along with many other partners for Ukraine, to make sure that you succeed on the battlefield.
Washington finally passed the bill on April 23rd to provide military aid to Ukraine. In Kyiv, the US Secretary of State underlined that the United States is and will remain a committed partner. Ukraine is thankful for this crucial package, said Volodymyr Zelensky, but added, we need several Patriot air defense systems to protect the Kharkiv region.
Air defense, the biggest deficit for us. I think that the biggest problem. Yes, and we need today 2 Patriots for Kharkiv region, because the people are under attack, civilians and warriors, everybody there under Russian missiles.
The situation on the battlefield is difficult but completely under control by the Ukrainian Defense Forces. That was reported by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine this morning. Since the beginning of yesterday, there have been 145 combat clashes. Russian forces launched 3 missile attacks, over 320 drone strikes, and fired over 2,400 times at Ukrainian troop positions. Russian forces also dropped up to 70 guided aerial bombs on the territory of Ukraine. The General Staff of the Armed Forces also stated, in certain sectors of the area of Lukyansk and Vovchansk in the Kharkiv region, Ukraine's military have moved troops to new positions in order to preserve the lives of the servicemen and avoid losses. At the same time, the Institute for the Study of War reported the pace of Russian offensive operations in the Kharkiv region appears to have slowed over the past 24 hours, and it seems like the Russian forces are prioritizing the creation of a buffer zone in the international border area over a deeper penetration of Kharkiv region. New Russian attacks on 3 Ukrainian cities, Dnipro, Mykolaiv and Kherson. In Dnipro, Russian forces launched a missile attack resulting in at least 2 people being killed and significant damage to the city's infrastructure. This was reported by the local governor. Around noon, another assault struck Mykolaiv, resulting in injuries to at least 5 people. 17 more civilians were injured in Kherson, where Russia used aerial bombs. 22 people were injured after Russia targeted a civilian area in Kharkiv yesterday. This was reported by Oleg Senegubov, Kharkiv region governor. 2 children were among those who were injured. Russian forces carried out a series of air strikes using guided aerial bombs and drones.
Telegram groups warned that guided aerial bombs were coming. We took shelter in a bathroom. I then heard a whistling sound and an explosion. We were shaken. We thought a nearby building was hit, not ours. Our apartment is located on the other side of the building, so it remained intact.
Meanwhile, the evacuation from Vovchansk in Kharkiv region is ongoing, and it will last until all the residents leave the city, said the governor. He posted on his Telegram channel that since May 10, almost 8,000 civilians have already been evacuated, but about 300 still remain. Our colleague Philip Malzan was in Vovchansk, and here's what he saw.
So, looks like Russia has begun its new offensive on the Kharkiv region. We're driving to Vovchansk, city that was under occupation, then was liberated and is now under heavy attack. The Russians took the village just outside, so they're standing outside the city gates, and as you can see, they're shooting already at the road into the city to cut off the way in and out. We're gonna go find out what's up.
On the 10th of May,
Russia launched a new offensive on the Kharkiv region, attacking from two main points. 5 brigades are pushing towards Vovchansk and Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv. The goal, to create havoc and to deter Ukrainian troops from other regions such as Kupiansk, Donbass and the south. When we arrive, the city is empty and burning. Everyone who is left, both soldiers and civilians, are hiding to avoid Russian drones and artillery.
From the 9th to the 10th at night, it was terrible. Honestly, now there are explosions from morning to night.
Without cover, just driving around is extremely dangerous. We're too exposed, as anything moving is a target.
I don't know, I can't say. There has been no electricity for 2 or 3 weeks. Only this. All the time, and also there's aviation.
We decide there's not much we can do in this situation and leave. Well, there is no one left and nothing. Only smoke, fire and destruction. Another great Russian success to continue this, I'm sorry to say it, fucking war. On our way, we see tanks and other armored vehicles heading down the road at full speed. Later, we receive information that Russian units have already entered the city. The battle for Vovchansk and the battle for the entire Kharkiv region has begun. This report was filmed on May 12. On May 13, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reported that the Russians were pushed back to the outskirts of Vovchansk.
The first purpose-built underground school was opened in Kharkiv. It's designed to accommodate almost 1,000 students. Classes will be taught in 2 shifts. Almost every day the city comes under Russian missiles, drones and artillery. More about the underground school in our report.
A regular lesson in this highly irregular school. Kharkiv students are sitting at their desks in a classroom located a few meters underground.
My elder daughter, a 3rd grader, could hardly wait to come here, dress up for the occasion, meet her friends that she missed very much. For my son, who is a 1st grader, it is like a festive day. A chance to meet his classmates in real life, not online, play with them.
This school is the first one in Kharkiv to be built underground by design. Because of the everyday Russian strikes, children have no opportunity to go to school and meet with their classmates. Previously, this was only possible if they had classes in bomb shelters.
It is like day and night. Unfortunately, as you know, most of our schools do not have shelters. There are basements, underground spaces, which are totally inadequate to conduct any teaching. The spaces here are designed to provide quality, modern educational services, and not only them.
Designed to hold classes for 450 students at a time, dividing the day into 2 shifts means the school is able to accommodate 900 students. Full capacity classes are not expected until September 1st. For now, both teachers and students alike are getting accustomed to their new conditions.
I would like at least 3 schools like this to be built in the city. I would like it very much. At the moment, we are at a project stage, sorting out documentation, gathering expert opinion, in order to be able to build 3 schools like this.
School bell.
The attacks in the Kharkiv region are expected to continue for another 3 or 4 days. The chief of the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine, Kirill Budanov, expects that Russian forces will make a hard push in the direction of Sumy, a city about 200 kilometers to the northwest of Kharkiv. Budanov also told journalists that the Ukrainian army was trying to redirect troops from other frontline areas, but there weren't enough reserves. The Ukrainians, said Budanov, also face critical shortages of weapons, especially artillery ammunition. One more problem Ukrainian soldiers are facing on the front line is repairing foreign-made equipment. Soldiers who are operating a German Leopard tank in the Donetsk region told journalists they require a steady supply of spare parts. How the Western equipment is changing the situation on the battlefield in our latest report.
I'll tell you this, I used to operate a T-64 tank for a year. This one is much better.
Andriy, call sign Nimble, is a member of a tank crew. Now, he's working in the Donetsk region and operating a German Leopard tank.
When you drive into a mine, it happened to me in the past, you don't feel anything. With Soviet tanks, you are shell-shocked or sustain other damages. My friends died when we drove onto a mine. With this tank, no. A few tank crews drove onto mines, and they remained safe and sound.
Now, because of the high intensity of fighting, the tank can be used 2 or 3 times per day, said Andriy. That means they also need spare parts for repairs.
The terrain is different here, so conditions are probably different than the Germans designed for. Lower track wheels sustain immense wear and tear. After 3 to 5 rides, we can see that we need to replace them, and we don't have them in such quantity.
But also, as other soldiers across the front line, Andriy is awaiting shipments from the US military aid package. Because of the lack of ammunition, troops can't be as effective as they used to.
There is a dramatic shortage of ammunition. We are short of fragmentation ammunition. This is the main priority for us, because war tactics have changed. You cannot fight the infantry using a crowbar and spear. When we still had fragmentation ammunition, we used to be based in the Zaporizhia and Avdiivka area. We achieved real successes. I saw a dugout being hit, and it was torn apart, and the infantry sustained serious injuries.
Ammunition is included in the new US military aid package. As soon as it arrives, it will strengthen the positions of the Ukrainian army.
That's it for today. We're United24 Media. Thanks for watching and see you soon.